8 will be 1, obviously, usually you don't find that. Then 9 will be 2, 10 is not, 11 is a 4, 12, 13, usually you don't do 14. So, 13 is the same as a 6. So either we invert them. I'm skipping that part of encoding version because that's quite so.
And 6 is the same as add 9.
A 6 is the same as an
add 9.
Add 13.
Oh.
A 6 is the same as an add 13. When they tell you add 13, you can actually just invert it and do what? And add a 6. Or you can just slash it. You can just slash it like that. I see at 13 or C13, whatever it is, you like it to have C, E, G, and then A. It's very apt, so you could just literally just also do it as a C, stroke and A minor.
C minor.
Yeah. It will give you, because A minor is this.
Yes.
This is C. But again, this is C at 13. So, the end of the day, you just have to play C stroke A minor.
But I see like C6.
The difference, yeah, it can still be C6. The difference usually is in which octave the A is. But at the end of the day, usually it gives a little difference.
Like when you hold like C, E, G in that order, not that you heard E, G, A, C.
That sounds like, if I'm not mistaken, you've done what we call a called inversion.
Inversion.
Yes.
Does it depend on inversion?
Usually this is C, E, this, C, E, G.
Yes.
Then you skip an octave and you have the A. In the other octave, so this one.
Oh, that is when you're using two hands and the left holds C and this one hold A.
By default, this is asking you to hold this with one hand.
One hand.
Yes. But because it becomes difficult, that's when we come into we bring in coding.
Add 13.
The add 13 is making you do this, which is difficult. To do with the fingers because of the limitations of the fingers.
Yeah.
So that's why most times, especially when you're playing piano, you will not find this, but you are likely to find this.
What's C6?
Or this.
You really find that.
Yes.
Oh, add 13 means you have skipped an octave and you went to, because the octave ends at 8, then you proceed 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, you go to another octave and you find A.
The A in the next octave.
In the next
That's what
octave.
this one is telling you.
It's good. Yeah, it's
That's
a very
what
nice
gives
explanation.
So that's why we just usually skip it, or just to keep it very much alive, we just stroke it so that we can still maintain the A in the other octave. You stroke it, and there you have just hold it and play. Because if you stroke it, then you're literally going to play A minor, right? And if you play A minor, you're going to literally play the other A in the other octave.
In the other octave.
Yeah.
Now I get it why it is 13.
Just for that, it's usually for the essence of pushing it to the other side. And then the 11 usually is the same as C4. A little bit different from SS4 because SS4 totally suspense like that. But it's the same as the C and 4, where they just want you to add in a little bit of the what?
Then it is the same. Since that one you added 13, this time you add the 11.
Yeah, you add the 11.
What's the date today? 15. So in this case, I can get C at 14.
A C at 14.
Yeah.
I feel like a C at 14 would literally be. I mean, that be another 14. Wait, the 14 is the. Was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah. 14 is B.
It's B. I go straight to B.
Yeah. I was thinking 14 is C. Yeah, 14 is B.
That could be the last one.
Yeah. But that is a 14. It's rare to find. Most people who have gone so well have done 13. And a 14, yeah.
I see there, which sounds as the same as
A C 14.
as 9, as 7.
The 7th for
As
us.
7.
A 7th for a C. Remember, 7th for a C is A, right?
7 plus
Yes. The 7th degree is A.
A.
So C at 7 would be C at 7 would be A minor, C stroke A minor, or it would be the other times. Yeah, it would be C. I think it's. What's the degree for C? This is C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Oh, so C and 7 is C stroke E minor. Because you have, instead of, you have B, right? So you have C, which is a major, and you have E minor. And add 7. If you are going to do a dominant 7, then that is different. Then it will be an.
Then I'm looking for 14. So you cannot find 14. You will see C stroke E minor.
Yeah, C stroke E minor is the same as C14. And piano music is just rated that. I see. That this is a C and 7. Or call it a C and what? 14. That is different. And if you're going to do anyways, so I'm going to I want to try and exhaust this before we move on to part of fundamentation, articulations. Just trying to exhaust their skills before we move on to the next thing. We have this is just a small thing. The scale degrees.
7 is the reading note.
Yeah. So, let me see.
Tonic, supertonic, mediant, subdominant, dominant, submediant, reading note. What does that have?
This is just for theory naming. Just way to know, because sometimes they might not tell you it's the sixth, they just tell you they might just come and ask you what's the submediant of the chaos.
Submediant of the chaos.
Yes.
Okay.
So you just will know about your hand, that's the sixth. So, of course, keynote or the tonic is that.
Yes, where you are basing from.
Yeah, it's the scale.
The foundation.
Then you have the supertonic, which is usually just the note higher than the tonic. Then we have the mediant, because the mediant is usually, I'm going to realize it is halfway through the other side. Right?
The median.
Yeah, the mediant. So you realize mediant is halfway from the tonic and halfway to the dominant. Now we are going to let's first talk about the mediant. The median, the dominant. The dominant is usually that note in that scale, which is, it dominates that scale.
Yes.
It is not the ketone, but it is the other note that will dominate that scale.
When you hold it, in whichever chords you go, it will not flatten. It still.
It's the other much common that one that has the best relationship with the ketone,
yes,
with the tonic. For example, in C, you realize that the dominant is G.
Yeah.
Right? Because G has the best relationship with C. In F, you realize that the dominant is C. Yeah. Alright? That way. So usually that's what we call it the dominant. It is that degree which has the best relationship with the tonic.
Yes.
So we call it the dominant, because for it usually it's even this chord in that scale will be the other quickest one to realize.
Yes.
C if it's C, you realize that besides the chord of C, it's the chord of G that dominates that key. If it is F, in the scale of F, it is the chord of C that dominates also that one. Right? So mediant is the degree, it is halfway, it is in the middle between the tonic and
the dominant.
Yes. Then subdominant is always the one before that.
The dominant.
Yes. Submediant is more like a reflection of this. Because submediant is a reflection of this. You realize that if we have another tonic here, correct?
Yes.
If this is 8, 7, 6, here we have a submedian. And here 8, this will be 8 stroke 1, 2, 3. So this side we have the median, here we have the submedian. And then the leading note, the one that leads you to the tonic.
Yeah, it's the same as tonic.
Yeah.
2, 3.
So that is much about
The leading note is
it leads you to the tonic.
yeah. Why is it leading? Leads you to the tonic.
Yes. It's that usually the leading note, when you play it, you always feel like it's always T. And it's when you play it insofar as it's T. When you play T, you'll feel that it is hungry for the
tonic.
Yes. It is hungry for the tonic. It is not hungry for the submedian, because trust me, after the leading note, if you play the submedian, it will still feel that there is still unfinished work.
Yes.
But the leading note always feels hungry for the tonic. Thus, it leads us to get to the tonic. T, in T, it feels like it wants to go to do, T, do. But you cannot tell it T, la. It still feels hungry.
Yeah.
So it leads us, for it to feel satisfied, it always wants to go to the tonic. That's it. We call it a leading note. It leads us to the tonic. Then there's much with the degrees, so you just have to remember this one. The names. Then so if it's no degrees, you can look at the chromatic scale. So you have major scales, minor scales. The other type of scale is the chromatic scale. Major scales and minor scales, usually the major scales are diatonic scales. So minor scales are an extraction of chromatic scales. have like chromatic scales. Chromatic scales are simple. There is no deep thing about them because one, their notes will always be the same. But I think to is like a chromatic scale, unlike the dominant, unlike the diatonic scale, which a diatonic scale has 7, we should call them 8 because the 8th one is still the first one. The chromatic scale has 12, or you can call them 13 if you are going to count the first one again. Chromatic scales don't have degree names like the diatonic scales, only so. But these ones, they are just, because the thing is, every part has to be, from one to another is separated by one semitone.
Yes.
So we just, from wherever you start from, you realize every note is still the same. Whether you start from C or D or B, thing is, you just start to realize it. E and F, B and C, those ones, remember, they are already by default separated by semitone, so they even still remain the same thing. Thus, they are 12 instead of instead of the what? Instead of the 8. We have the chromatic scales of C. Chromatic scales are not usually used like as key signatures. They are just, you are going to just find them written in the music piece when they are needed. Then you just have to go like that. So I've never seen also anything like a chromatic scale of C.
Without skipping any tone.
Any semitone.
Any semitone.
Yes. Chromatic scales are made up of semitones. You know, the diatonic scales are made up of tones.
Semitone.
Yeah. which is the third line of that clef.
Of the staff.
Yes, of this. Oh yes, of the staff. It has to be of the staff. Okay, so we have the other type of clefs, which is now mainly what we study in music theory is the C clef. There are two types of mainly the C clef. We have the alto clef and the tenor clef. But notice that the C clef is designed in such a way that it is like this is the main part of the C clef, and it is two C's locally facing the other side, being joined together. Right? So we do two C's and then we join them together by putting an arrow between them. And usually, what helps us is the arrow that we have that has joined the two C's facing the other side is what denotes the C. Remember for G clef was looking like this. Alright? Another thing that we saw is that this part here where the G clef begins from, the line that passes there will always be G. But then when you study music theory, history, a little bit, you'll find that this thing could also be moved. Because nowadays you know it is always on the second line, right? So you know it is always on that, then right? But back then it could be moved. For example,
it can be moved.
They used to move it, nowadays we no longer move it. But then if you could find it like this, then still now this would be your G. So So this would be G, then this would be B, B, everything would move. So here, and then the F clef, you will find it, okay, the current one looks like this. What is this?
On F line.
And you realize that there is those two dots. So the line that passes between the two dots is always F. But then it could also be moved. And you'll find this maybe looking like this. And it's still now this line is the F. Wherever. So
when it is moved, that means it has changed the names of the lines.
it does not change the names of the lines, it has just only changed the letter of the position. Let's say, because originally,
Because when placed on line F, then it means the first line is G.
let's do this. Imagine I have this. Right?
That means the first line is G.
That means this is G, this is G, this is F. Maybe you're saying this one down.
Yes.
Oh yes, this is G. Right? Yes. But if you come and you find it like this.
Yes. It means the first line has changed the name. Oh, the degree.
To better help you, you just have to know that it is. If you find it like this, right? It means this line that is passing through these dots is F.
Yeah.
If you find it like this, still just come and look for the line that is passing through this.
Yeah.
Now this is F.
Yeah.
So you start from there, F, this will now be E, this will now be B, this will now be C, and B.
Now the line has changed.
Yes. So yeah, it changes around the positions. Now that kind of like the same situation is now what here works with the clefs of C. The C clef. This pointer here, the one that is joining the C is because we do C and you do another C, and to join them, you don't go like that, of course. So in order to help us find the middle of that joining line,
Yes.
we use that arrow. And wherever this arrow pass is pointing is where there is C. So one thing back then it used to be, at the times, now these things are the common ones. Usually if it's in the middle one, we call it the autoclave. Usually when it moves a little bit up to the fifth to fourth line. Yes, now that's when we call it the tenor clef. Back then it could still be moved anywhere else. It's like how we see the other ones, but nowadays they don't move them so much. They have kept them constant. It's just that or that. But still, if you find that it's possible to find it moved around. Especially when you're doing the typical music theories exams, they love to move those clefs around, and they will not tell you that they have moved them around.
Yes. You have to examine.
You just have to examine and be vigilant and see that, oh, it was moved. Even for the treble clef and the bass clef, the G and the F clefs, they can still be moved. But they will not tell you, especially when they're examining, because you just have to be vigilant. You know, with music theory, you most times will know you have the ear, you have music.
Yes.
Are you able to read?
Reading is the point.
Yeah, reading that music is the point. You know, reading those signs. So you just have to be vigilant. Where is the pointer? Because in another one, you see down this one was moved, or another point it can be moved totally down. Maybe, and then they'll do that. So from there, you just have to know that, oh, now the bottom line is C. So you start from there. C. The thing is to be vigilant. Where has it moved? For the treble clef, it is that starting part of the G clef. For the F, it is the dots, whatever. There are other times when you can find those dots when they are kind of like, for example, when it is like this. Just gonna do that.
That means the space is F.
That is the space is F. Right? So even here, even if you find this now pointing in the middle, in the space, now you know that's there.
That is where C is.
Just a little, if you get to understand that, then you have the idea of the sequence. Just have to be aware of the pointer. Where is the pointer? The pointer is what differentiates between an autoclave and a base clef. Simple. Where is it?
Yes.
So that is one thing that we need to think about. That pointer does not show any other C, but it shows you that middle C.
In both of the clefs.
Yes, in both clefs. Wherever it points, that is the middle C.
Now, since that they can be moved, and yet they are marked on the name of the line, the middle one, which is line B, in our treble clef.
In the treble clef, the middle one is B.
If the middle one is B, when the pointer points there, it means that is an autoclave.
Yes.
When it is on line D, it is according to the treble clef, it is the tenor clef. But they can be moved.
Yeah, they can be moved.
Now, which marks that this is an alto, this is a tenor?
So usually, just when it goes lower, that's when it is called the bass clef. So you see, usually when it is in the middle, it will be called the alto clef. When it goes higher, it will be called the
autoclave.
No, when it goes higher, then it becomes the tenor clef.
Yeah.
Usually when it goes lower, it will be the bass clef.
Though it is the same sign.
Yeah. Just usually they are called that way because you realize when
so
it
that
goes.
means they don't move.
Yeah, usually they don't. So usually why do they call them alto, tenor, or bass clef? Is usually why they use that is to help that voice to find the better notes for it.
Yeah.
So you realize that, for example, if I'm writing music for alto usually has a little bit of the middle, yes, and a little bit of the low. So me getting my middle C and putting it on the middle line and having my middle C here, right, will enable me to write alto music very well within my stuff.
Yes.
Because usually alto music ranges from C, D, E, F, G, goes that, and then comes down to C, A, and then this would be F, a little bit lower. Usually that alto music ranges between there. That alto voice usually ranges between there.
Yes.
Right? Whereas tenor music usually is a little bit, it's on the lower clef, but on the higher notes. Right? So putting middle C here will enable me to cover most of the tenor notes still in the stuff. Because usually if you look at the normal bass clef, tenor notes are usually written most times with ledger lines.
Yes. True. With
Right?
ledger lines.
With ledger lines on top.
In bass clef.
In the bass clef. Right? And then most times bass is written still, well, most times it is still within, but lower. And then sometimes even it can also get ledger lines below. Right? But me coming and putting my middle C here will enable me, now that means I'm having space. I'm trying to write the tenor clef. Yes. Middle C here. Unlike the time when I would have had this. And then I'm trying to write, let's say, B. For tenor, it is going to be here. Right? And then if I want to give it a C, I'm going to put it there. At D, I'm going to have to also do that. Right? This time, I don't have to use all these ledger lines. I just come this A, I'm just going to come and I have it.
Yes.
This B is right there. This, what is this? This was B, this was C, and this is A. This was, okay, this was B, this was C, and this was D. So notice that, unlike the same when I'm using ledger lines, when I do this one, I'm trying to
avoid ledger lines now.
Yes.
Via this clef.
By just using this clef instead of this. Alto lines usually they will be on the treble clef but down. So when I come in and use it, that means the C instead of, because on the treble clef, C is there, right?
Yes.
And then C already, middle C is on a ledger line.
In fact, it's on a ledger line. So
Yeah.
when going lower, it means many of the ledger lines.
Yeah, alto is going to be down here.
In fact, you're going to reach, if you are going scarf, you have to reach the bass clef.
Yeah, sometimes they go down to the bass clef, sometimes they just use ledger lines. But if I come and use the alto clef, then I don't need to use the ledger lines anymore. I just know my middle C is here, and then I'm going to come and then do what?
So the clef shifts the middle C.
So it's usually for the easier writing over the
Easier writing and reading.
Yeah, and reading.
Because ledger lines has never been easier.
You know when you do ledger lines, now you first have to now pause and count, wait, how many are they? And then you have to come down.
Yes.
But here, they just already show you that C.
Mm.
That okay, C is there in the middle, that means no need to go down. So it makes everything easier. Writing and reading music, it makes it easy. And it helps us to eliminate the arrangements. Usually that's what.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Yeah.
It helps and it's good, more so in singing. It is very, very nice.
Because if it is moved now down here, this will be a middle C, and that means, well, the bass is kind of like going to you. Maybe if the bass is singing with a higher one, with a higher, usually it's the bass one. So you have more space here. Then now, also that is one of the things that has been eliminated from music, because it's rare to find bass singing high. Right? So taking that C clef downwards is something very rare. That's why most of the things.
Sometimes they shift up, but making it down below the middle line, it is so rare.
Yeah. You know, the C clef was created mostly for alto and tenor music. One, because those two voices are the ones which most times you find them using ledger lines. Most times bass does not use ledger lines. The same thing with soprano. Most times it does not use ledger lines.
When you use at least up to 3 ledger lines.
Yeah. Unless if you are going to do mezzo soprano, of which most times if for mezzo soprano they just use the
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And then usually when they do that, that means this is G, but it's on the higher octave.
Yes.
So already that is.
Yeah, in soprano, because when you see, C is already on a ledger line automatically.
Yeah.
When you add 3 ledger lines upwards, it means you have moved 2 complete octaves. Now for the soprano, you cannot exceed 2 octaves. Where are you going as a soprano? You cannot.
I've seen some people who sing. I've seen people in the
Those old style singers.
those opera singers.
I had 7 that this.
They love to sing those very high.
Falsetto.
But anyway, it's people do it. So that is the C clefs. And it's what else in clefs and chords, clefs, what have we left off? Harmonic. Now this is just other things in chords. We have there is harmonic and melodic, which is simple. Harmonic just means a chord has been written. It's going to be played at the same time.
Yeah, high and low.
Yeah. Let's just do this as maybe other terms. We are going to we have the harmonic melody or harmonic. The harmonic melody just means you are playing them at the same time. For example, like in the hymn book that you saw, most music, the music is written in harmonica with a harmonic chord, right? So meaning you're gonna play this. Now this is what we call a harmonic chord.
This and this.
This. It is in harmony. You are playing it all together. Then for this harmonic chord, the degrees are played also at the same time. don't understand the logic. How much you pay? Don't pay so much on that. to go and first confirm this. Because at some point I believe, yeah, this there's not the same as scales. Harmonic scale is not the same as a harmonic chord, but I need to first confirm.
What?
I'll have to first confirm, but if this explanation is the same for the scales, otherwise there is some controversy inside me that the scales, this
And
that
chords.
yeah, it does not apply, it's not really the same thing.
Harmonic.
Yeah, harmonic scale and harmonic chord. Harmonic scale and chord is refers to something different, especially when it comes to scales. Yeah, so we must first eliminate that scales. So another page is more like what do you call them, Vedic chord.
Chromatic.
Yeah. But usually they don't, they call it, they say play and inner pages. And most times, like there are those people who play, instead of playing just the chord tab, they play it tab. Yes. Yes, we call it.
So that is arpeggio.
Yeah, we call it
Playing degrees over chord one after another.
So you know, if you have F, instead of playing F, S, C all together, you play it tan tan to make it. Chord inversions, we're not doing chord inversions, but chord inversions are simply, you know, you switch how you are holding the chord around. But usually the thing is, they still remain the same degrees. Just usually you're likely to switch them around into another octave. Yeah. But usually chord inversions are for simplicity, especially for piano players.
Yes, piano players.
Yeah, simplicity of holding a chord and what is more easier. For example, you might find maybe you're playing music and it's requiring it's asking for you to hold maybe that I'm thinking about the music where you play the left hand with the chord and the right hand with the melody. The chord is asking you to hold the key of G. In the key of G there is B, but the melody on the other side is asking you to also play at B on that very same point. So you can invert the chord of G. Hold B the other side so that you can still play that B that you are supposed to play here. I don't find chord inversion a big deal. Just alternate somersaulting the way you are holding a chord. The letters, you just have to know with chord inversion, the letters are still the same.
Yes, they are the same, but there are some rules that I have ever met that when you play, because there is first, second, and root. No, right?
Root, third, and fifth.
No, root, first and second.
The inversions.
The inversions. Now, when there is a rule I ever met that when you are playing the, let me say, the second inversion, you shouldn't play another major in a second inversion. Like you're playing the key of C. You're using all the majors in C, like 4 and 5. When playing those majors, since that you played the first major in second inversion, you shouldn't play another major in second inversion. That means you have to use either a root or first. Then another major which is left is also, they are to share all the inversions.
Let's see. C, the root, it is
C, E, G.
Right?
That is root.
Yeah. The first inversion of C would be
Of C, then it would be G.
Yeah, would be G.
Yeah.
So we are going to do G, C,
Yeah.
E.
Yes. And the second is E.
And the second is EGC.
Yeah.
But first inversion we move the fifth one, we start with the second and move. We start with the third. So what are you trying to mean now?
We have 3 major chords in a scale.
We have the root.
Three major. Yeah, we have the root, the fourth,
and the fifth.
Those are major chords in
Yes.
a scale. However, minor, dominant, and whatever you will play. But the rule says that, I want to confirm it with you, say that if you play the first chord, let me say the root, with first inversion, you shouldn't play the second major with a first inversion.
Okay, wait. So this is, here is our first major of in the scale of G. This is the first chord that we have.
Yeah.
First major chord. The second one would be the one of F.
Yes.
Alright?
Yeah.
And it has C. It has C, F, and A, and then it has A, C, and F. Alright? And then the other one is G, which is G, B, D. Its first inversion will be D, G, B. And then its second inversion is B, D, and G. So you're saying if you play this, let's say, if you play this, you cannot play.
You cannot play that.
You cannot play this. You have to play this.
You have to play this. Or the down doesn't matter.
Or the other one.
Yeah. And once you used that two, it means that the third major you have to play with the left one. If you have used first and the second utilized, then the other has to put the first inversion.
I think this will come. This is.
I don't know why that rule is like that. Let's come back.
I think it's not a rule, but it's for simplicity. You realize that moving from in this is C, alright? You are going to realize that for easier, because this one I'm holding the first one, not even the root. So you realize that here I'm going for it's simply remove the second. In order to play the second major, it's easy for me to play it as a first inversion.
Yes.
Right
now, this is the second.
And then you realize that to simplify this depends. I can either just shift, if you just shift all these by one, you are going to get into this. Which now this kind of like
that is not allowed. Why? Because
you are going to say you move to the
and you are moving all the fingers from the keyboard. Now they don't allow that. It was a rule that if you are playing this and you play this, you will have to leave it and come in. They say that you are very likely to make a mistake. But when you're using this and you play this, then another could be this.
Then you realize still you are going to move them.
Oh,
Yes.
so still you're going to
You're
move
still
it.
going to move them.
But
Usually it is the first and the fourth, I mean the first and the second major chords that have a relationship. Usually the fifth one does not have a relationship with them. But here it is for simplicity. That's why I say it is not a rule. But
it's not a rule.
it's not a rule,
A
but
guide
it
for
is a guide for simplicity. Yeah.
Oh, there's no music rule that
There is
governs that.
No, there is no music rule that stops you from doing whatever inversion is easier for you.
Okay.
But it is for simplicity because you realize if you're holding this, it is more easier to switch between this because now you're just moving this and shifting to this. And then rather than moving from that to that.
Now, the one who was teaching you practice said, if you are to use, let's say, all the measures, now consider this. You have to use all the measures. When you do this, you will go. But when going to the fifth, you will move the hands. Now use the second inversion. If you have to use both of them. Here you will get the minor, here you will get the suspension, and near you will get the fifth, you will get the fourth, you will get which other chord which is around here. Even this is the minor.
Something like that. That's a minor.
Even this. All the codes are here. This is because you expect to play this and this. I hope this is none of theoretical practice.
No, it's not theoretical, it's more practical.
It's more practical.
What inversion is more is more practical than theory. And it depends on the style of play. I know people who are more comfortable with always having to switch their hands around majorly than just the fingers. And such people, they don't deal with inversions.
Okay.
Because for them, they feel more, they are more energetic, they are easier to move their full hand. And it's from C to F, instead of switching this is likely to give them a hard time. But they want to totally switch their hand. And then
going straight to the chord.
They just have to do that to hold. So you will find those people, for them, they don't do the inversions. They play all them around. So it's more, the inversions are more of a practical thing.
Okay.
More of a way to simplify. But of course, when you find even a person like me also to find inversions. In fact, I first goes to learn inversions before I goes to learn the chords themselves. Because I was finding it more easier to switch them around.
Yes.
Because for me, the way I learned chords, I didn't learn chords directly from how they are formed. I learned chords from deriving them from music like this. Yeah. So instead of that, playing the left hand, I would look and realize that here I can just cover this with C, F, and A, and then this one, just move it around. I picked my chords from melodic music for the bass clef. And then from there, that's when I came back to start realizing, oh, I'm holding a chord. Oh, I'm holding this chord. I'm holding the chord.
No, you were holding them, but not in mind that I'm holding the chord.
Like I would hold F, S, C, but I would hold S, C, F, and I would not be so sure if I'm holding a chord or what. So it was after some time that I realized, oh, actually, I'm holding a chord already.
Yes.
But because of the inversions, because instead of playing the whole left hand, I would just move around my left fingers and try to get to the music that would make it simplified for me. So that is how I go to do the chords. But I said with the inversions. But really, the inversions are more for the practical side, less of the theory. There is no basic rule that rule, because if you say rule, it means you have to follow it, which is not that thing. It is about what is easier for you. if you are going to be able to play them around, to move them around the inversions, yeah. If not, no one even ever cares about which first or second inversion you are playing, as long as you have got it correct.
Yes.
For simplicity, it comes out.
Big your the melodic and harmonic, that is all.
Yeah. And not all, I don't want to say all, there might be other things that have not covered. That have not.
According to me, harmonic is playing the degrees together. Melodic means playing one over another.
Which is more or less like an arpeggio.
Then an arpeggio is playing the chords.
Melodic chord and an arpeggio chord is more almost the same thing. You are playing one after the other. So you are playing a chord but bringing it out as an arpeggio. Like instead of playing ding, which harmonize, because harmony means you get a chord and you find its perfect match and you play all of them together such that they harmonize together, right?
Yeah.
But melody means they are going to form something like a song. You brought out a melody, which even the same thing, that's what an arpeggio does. Literally, the word arpeggio is the Latin word to mean like a harp. Because a harp is a musical instrument. It's and it has many strings too.
Oh, many strings.
Yeah, a harp kind of looks like. I don't know if I can draw a very. It is big, and like that, and it has strings. Like that. Usually they sit down. It can be as big as this big table, and they sit here like you sit here like this, and then they play it.
Oh. Then where are the strings?
Here.
Here.
Yes.
They're like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So usually they will play it in a chord in an arpeggio way, in a melodic way, like tan tan tan, like that. So
Is it diatonic? As in, is it tuned diatonically?
yes. No, it has very many. So it has I believe I've never played that I have before, but I believe it has a string for the tone 7 tone 7. You might find having many strings.
Can contain something like 3.
Yeah. I've seen very big ones that are like the size of this board. And the person playing it sometimes would have to lean more. And then it's one of those instruments that I think are nice. They are nice looking. I guess I've never come across it in real life, but I've seen people play it.
Okay.
Okay, so tomorrow we are going to start with we are now closing to
Okay.
those ones, and I think we can do the articulations. I just to first do the phrases and cadences. Now let's first do the articulations. We'll do articulations, ornamentations, then we'll do phrases and cadences. The phrases and cadences are more in same. is one of those very nice I think we're going to stop here for today. Yes. That's the first one that. And at the very, very end, we'll see other phrases. Yeah, phrases and cadences. Yeah, that's what I was. That's the last one. Other phrases and other terms, terminologies that are used in music. And then now the task is for you to get a find sheet music, and you try and see. Especially I love those classic music sheets because they exhaust much of that things. You use those ones to test yourself. How much do you know? Can you read the music? How much can you be able to tell each and every sign that you find in that sheet music? If you're able to fight, you'll be able to tell them the result to judge yourself how far. And then talk of the exam, I'm planning to, I think I'm planning if that will be fun. I just want to first do something like a test to check yourself. I think you're bringing one at the very end.
Yes, but remember there are many topics. There are many topics. What I found here, we want to ask you either I was playing this. It's nothing. Now, I found that it is still hard for me to play here as well playing. Now, any question? I want to follow that. Is it a principle that you should play here as well? Here, or I can learn to play with this, then I learn to play with this, then I combine.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. First time to play this, and then
you come and this journey.
Yeah. One of the things that we usually do also, especially when playing the left hand, is either you first learn it and then you play this, or you can find a piece that plays a music, because usually music is there online, that plays only the right hand, and then you try and see if your left hand can follow along, can play.
And I compose myself.
No, like what I'm saying is you get a piece that is playing the left hand, because as you're listening to it, then you see if you can time the left. So like play the left hand rather than playing the right hand. Or you can, if you can play it at the same time. Because the other one, what I used to do with the students that I used to teach this one, is when they are learning this one, after learning this one, and when they are now working on the left hand, I would be the one playing this, and I have them play the left hand. Okay, so that way, at the moment, they are not focusing much on this, but they are focusing on timing this, playing this timing in this one's time. And then after, I have them play both of them themselves.
This common, I forgot this. I don't think I wrote it. Common time.
That is cut time.
Cut time. And common time. There are any other symbols of the same signatures? Oh, this is the signature.
Yeah, that's a time signature.
Yeah, it's a time signature.
And the symbols of the...
Do we have others? Because this was new. The signatures are new. 4, 2, 4, whatever. Now it now comes to cut time. Cut
time.
cut time. Now, cut time you have to consider. Maybe we need to understand much about these signatures which are not numbered with numbers like 4, 4. But then there are
No, they are not many. I'm trying to think of if they're under, they should be maybe 1 or 2. I guess. But I don't really remember any.